Which two Montreal Canadiens prospects have been tapped as All-Stars? You're about to find out on today's video. Now, just to be clear, of course, we are referring to the AHL All-Star Classic. That is the AHL skills competition and All-Star Game that's going to happen on February 2nd and 3rd of this year. And it's hosted again this year out in the Coachella Valley area that is in Palm Desert, California, just outside of Palm Springs. And this year, the Laval Rocket get two representatives at the All-Star events, thanks in great part to the fantastic start they've had at the beginning of this season. But the slip that they had in the standings and in their performance during the month of December does leave them out in the cold in one area of the All-Star events, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But who is it? Which Montreal Canadiens prospects are headed to the All-Star game? Well, it's Logan Mailloux and Joshua Roy. This will be Joshua Roy's first trip to the All-Star Classic. The 21-year-old is the Laval Rocket's top scorer at this moment. He has 25 points in 29 games played. He's had a very remarkable start to his season and really seems to have found some good confidence and rhythm and a good tempo. Obviously, lots of production as well. He'll be accompanied by defenseman Logan Mailloux. Logan Mailloux is currently the Rockets' second highest scorer among defensemen. He's got 16 points on the season so far. And this will be Mailloux's actual second consecutive appearance at the AHL All-Star Classic. He was Laval's sole representative last year for the event. And that was a special designation for Mailloux at that time because not only was he Laval's only representative there, he was also there as a rookie. So this is his second year in a row getting to attend the All-Star. As they do every year, the folks over at the AHL also designate some honorary captains in addition to the player captains for the Eastern and Western Conference teams. This year, those honorary captains will be Grant Fuhr and Lauren Henning. And when it comes to the coaching, typically the top coach in each division gets to represent their team at the AHL All-Star Classic. So, for instance, for the Eastern Conference, it'll be the top coach in the North and Atlantic divisions, and in the Western Conference, the top coach in the Central and Pacific divisions. Now, because Laval, even though they came out of the gate so strongly in October and November, because they did slip during the month of December, where they were putting together consecutive losses where their counterparts in the NHL were having an outstanding December. Those losses for Laval and how much they struggled during the month of December slipped them down in the standings just far enough that unfortunately Pascal Vincent doesn't get to represent Laval and the Canadiens organization and the North Division at the AHL All-Star Classic. I think that's a little bit of a shame because Pascal Vincent has done a tremendous job this year, so unfortunately he gets robbed of that opportunity. Instead, it will be Toronto Marlies head coach John Gruden who will represent the North Division. Also, just as deserving, they are ahead of the Laval Rocket in the standings at this time, but hopefully Pascal Vincent will get it next year. In terms of Laval's performance overall, they have started to turn things around. They've won their last two games, and they've moved themselves back up to third place overall in the North Division, still sitting at sixth overall in the AHL. So despite a rocky December, they are still looking good to head into the second half of the season, and they should be playoff bound if they continue to put together the wins the way they have been doing. Of course, the crease looks just a little bit different right now with Jakub Dobeš up in the NHL with the Canadiens, and so that means Cayden Primeau and Connor Hughes will be the ones manning the crease, and Cayden Primeau seems to be a bit relieved to be back in a familiar environment. He admits that it was a tough thing to accept that he was going to be placed on waivers and that he wasn't claimed on waivers. But I think the flip side of that is he's in a place where the pressure comes off a little bit. He knows he's going to play a lot more often. He's going to get back into a rhythm. He's going to get some good confidence. He enjoys playing at Place Bell. The fans there really support him. And he came out in his AHL season debut game a week or so ago with a victory. So hopefully we'll get to see Cayden Primeau kind of find his game again and build some confidence back up. But it's not just the prospects that are in Laval who have been shining for the Canadiens organization. Lane Hutson absolutely has lit up the hockey community with his performance so far this season, and the NHL named him the Rookie of the Month for December. He was not alone in that designation, however. Ivan Demidov over in the KHL, for the second time this season, was named Rookie of the Month. This time it was for the month of December, but he has not been slouching. Even when he was only getting a little bit of ice time, his ice time has definitely gone up in recent weeks, and he's taking full advantage of that. Now, unfortunately, Canadiens fans will have to be patient as they wait for the arrival of Demidov to come to North America to begin his pro career over here. Kent Hughes even alluding to that in his mid-season media availability that took place earlier this week, saying probably very unlikely that we would see Demidov over here before the end of the Canadiens season. And Kent Hughes actually had a lot more to talk about than just Ivan Demidov in that availability. We'll have a lot more details and a lot more discussion about Kent Hughes' full press availability on the upcoming episode of the Canadiens Connection podcast, which will be out here on the channel in just a few days. But while you're waiting for that, Ivan Demidov was just one of 10 things that we know Habs fans can look forward to and expect in 2025 from the Montreal Canadiens organization. And if you'd like to hear about the 9 other things that you can be looking forward to in the coming months from the Habs, well then check out this video right here. I'll see you over there, and I'll see you back here again next time.